Okay, well, hello, carnivore community. Nice to meet you. I'm taking the challenge of Carrie from Homestead How and all the other influencers and every one of you to share your story of how you became carnivore and your progress and etc. So here I am. My name is Kat, and gosh, I don't even know where to begin. So I have another YouTube channel, Realistic Spirituality. And I might make another channel called The Enlightened Carnivore. I know that's a bold statement, but because my background is so deeply spiritual, I've spent my entire life on the spiritual journey, awakening consciousness, and just kind of living the monk lifestyle in search of enlightenment. And, it's been quite successful, but it hasn't due to the health of this body. And I realize that we cannot truly embody our spiritual, our true nature, our highest human potential without having this body be functioning properly. Anyway, so I may speak about some spiritual things, and I've done another video, about spirituality, enlightenment, and the carnivore diet. Like, do those two things go together? So that's a really long video, but I just wanted to share because I am a newbie. I'm close to the end of my third week. And man, I have slid into carnivore really dirty, but already I can see like huge benefits, right? Even if things went really awry due to my own testing of the system. Yeah, so I don't know quite where to begin. I think it's really important to begin at the beginning, right? And unfortunately, my story begins, basically from birth or prior to birth, just from the beginning of childhood. As many of your stories, I've watched so many of your stories. I'm so inspired. Many of your stories are the same. And I want to include, I don't want to make this video very long, so I might put it part one, part two. I want to talk about the childhood aspect, because if somebody stumbles upon my video and I'm talking about experiences of childhood or the diet of childhood, somebody might have kids, and so we can really see the harm that we're doing to our children by not feeding them the proper human diet, right? So anyway, my story, my tragic diet story. Just I was 5 or 6 weeks premature as a baby. So right then and there, I didn't fully get all the new nutrition or nutrients from where I needed to get them. And because my mother was older, I was born in the 60s, so my mother did not breastfeed me. So there we go. And in the 60s, early 70s, skinny was in, right? I mean, when is skinny not ever in? But this was all the diet. And I grew up with a mother who was obsessed with dieting. So not only did I, grow up on formula, but skim milk, and I don't recall eating meat, but the big important part of growing up in this household was my mother was not home. She worked at night. So when I came home from school, it was like whatever was available. And what was available were, I don't even really know. I remember that I knew how to cook spaghetti. So it was all carbohydrates, skim milk. And of course, I'm not going to cook. I don't know how to cook meat. And I remember even being so desperate as to eat her little diet chocolate squares. I would I would dive into Nestle's Quick. Remember Nestle's Quick? And just eat spoonfuls of that. And also drinking her liquid diet. Do you remember the liquid diet? Some of you are probably much too young to know that. But growing up in a household where diet, 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 worrying about weight, and then growing up in Hollywood, and skinny was in, and the skinny little Shemendifer jeans. I mean, you had to be like this. So I started my early childhood development, 10, 11, 12, 13, those very impressionable years, starving myself. Um, you know, the story. And I was actually very obese as a child. And that just, brings so much mental and emotional distress when you're around people always worried about dieting. It just breaks you, and it broke me at an early age that I was a woman size 16. I wasn't even in junior high yet, so in grammar school. I had a big belly, and I was always hungry, but I was always starving myself. I mean, I would go a couple of days, well, probably just a day, without eating. And I was hating myself. And, just this pressure, this depression, and hating life and hating my body and not knowing what to do. At 12 years old, I tried to commit suicide. It was just, I'm not sharing that for shock value, but I'm sharing that to point to the detrimental effects of eating this way, not getting proper fat, full fat milk, breast milk, leaving kids on their own without leaving meals, and worrying about weight constantly, right? And no protein, at least not that I'm aware of. There's probably lasagnas and, I'm sure there was food prepared in the refrigerator, but come on, any 11, 12-year-old isn't really going to prepare food for themselves, even if it's in the refrigerator. So that was kind of my beginning. And I do know that the beginning of me having this ethical, moral, spiritual ideology of not wanting to harm animals started when I saw the movie Bambi. And I can viscerally remember and envision the moment that I saw Bambi's mother being shot or killed. And I can viscerally remember thinking myself, I will never harm an animal again. And we always had animals. It was so strange. We had peacocks. We had a peacock at one time, a raccoon. Anyway, yeah, so we were all animal lovers. But seeing that movie, I think really instilled in me, I don't want to ever do harm. And that just to animals. And so that must mean I can never eat meat, or I shouldn't eat meat. Anyway, growing up through life, I don't recall, I just never thought about eating meat, but I was always dieting. So of course, like everyone out there, I was vegetarian for most of my life, but I was always on antidepressants, depressed. This was in my 20s and 30s. And then around age my early mid 40s, I started getting really, really sick. And when I started checking into holistic stuff, the first thing, sorry, my cat just jumped up there. I stumbled upon the whole mercury in your teeth thing, that's trying to be holistic, and, the government is doing things that are poisoning you. And that was the road I went down. And this was about 17 years ago, right? If I'm remembering correctly. Anyway, so I went to this clinic to get the mercury taken out. And I remember the doctor there said, he was talking about Weston A. Price, which is, I think, kind of like the original carnivore type of lifestyle. And he was saying, when you get home, you have to start eating a stick of butter and meat. And I think I even did like raw meat, but that was really because I don't know how to cook. Anyway, I'm just not very good in the kitchen at all. And eating raw meat is not sustainable. It's not fun. And I was really afraid of gaining weight with the sticks of butter. But the doctor then knew, you know, to heal, eat meat and high fat. But anyway, the Weston A. Price Foundation, I started looking into that again, and they were absolutely correct. Even though they did say you could have some vegetables, that they did talk about how you have to really cook them, like cook them to death, in order to denature or to whatever, take away the effects of the oxalates and the lectins, and I think phthalates, something else. Anyway, so yeah, I've tried all the diet. Anyway, so starting around the 40s, mid 40s, my health was just going down, and my weight was just getting more and more. Um, let me think. Yeah. So let's just speed it up. Speed it up for your benefit. Prior to now, I think I already told you this, I'm only on my third week and ending my third week. So I'm brand new, but all the symptoms, yes, weight gain, inflammation, joint pain, absolutely. Because I don't have a health care, I haven't gone to a medical doctor in probably that many years, 17 years, just a long time, because I don't trust them and they've never helped me, and I don't want to be given a medicine anyway. So absolutely, even though I don't have an official diagnosis, I'm absolutely sure I am insulin resistance, metabolic disorder. I suspect I have some form of autoimmune. Definitely, if not diabetic too, then insulin resistant. Joint pain, eye floaters, vision was just going down, about getting worse and worse. Even though I had a lens replacement, still vision was just not being clear. Heartburn, knee pain. Did I say all this? Anyway, and definitely, oh, how could I forget? The last 17 years, like, makes me cry. It makes me sad to think that all these kids starting off on the improper human diet, and they don't figure it out, and we don't figure it out until our late 50s, 60s, 70s. It breaks my heart that we almost never had a chance, right? It breaks my heart that I could have been feeling this good, and I know I'm going to feel a bazillion times better in the future, but I could have been feeling good my whole life, and I wasn't. And I never had motivation. I never wanted to be here. I never wanted to do anything. I just wanted to get the hell out of here. Yeah, it makes me sad that I have felt that, you have felt that, and children are out there experiencing this. This is just wrong. Anyway, yeah, so this inflammation in the body, the last 17 years has left me with, at minimum, 5 days a week, waking up with the most excruciating headache, but not like a regular headache, but like back of the head into the brain inflammation, like on fire. And there's very little you can do with it. I've been living off Advil to just reduce some of the inflammation, but then it would also attack my lower back into the nerves down there, because, like many of you, if you've had the chicken pox, you have the herpes virus in you. And I know this is such an embarrassing topic, but I think it's important to talk about this. The herpes, look, they say 1 in 5 people have the herpes virus, and that was like 20 years ago. So I can't imagine chicken pox. If you have chicken pox, there's like 6 different versions of the herpes virus, from Epstein-Barr, which I did have a holistic healer say that I did have that, and as well as Lyme disease. So anyway, the inflammation, not only was it giving me these headaches, and then of course high blood sugar. I wasn't sure what, like, excruciating headaches. at the same time, because my body was constantly inflamed, I have had, oh, this is so embarrassing, but I know others must be experiencing or must have been experiencing this as well. Chronic herpes. And I don't want no outbreaks, but that feeling of I'm getting a cold, sore throat, the neck would get stiff. Now, this could be some other autoimmune disease that I don't really know about, but I'm attributing it to the herpes virus because at one point I did have like a little shingles outbreak. Oh, fuck. I think that's connected to herpes. Anyway, I could be wrong. Doesn't matter. But yeah, never had, very rarely outbreaks, but that beginning of, if you have cold sores, you start getting like, oh, I'm starting to feel like I'm catching a cold, and you feel a little electrical shock in your lips. Yeah, try having that like at least, twice a week for 17 years, that just run down, draining feeling. It's awful. Anyway, so after, yeah, oh yeah, hair loss. Yeah, this is what cinched it for me. No, not the fact that I knew I was insulin resistant. Not the fact that I knew that I had skin tank. Oh my God, I'm just noticing. I think, the brown splotches on your skin that indicate you're insulin resistant, might still have some there. Skin tags, blotchy skin, can't remember what else. I had all of them, all the symptoms. None of those really pushed me until a couple of weeks ago, and I went, oh my God, I'm losing my hair. And I have been losing my hair. And I said, that's it. That's, among other things, really. Yeah, if you look at my other video where I talk about the spiritual aspect of it, but that starting to go bald right there, that was the cinch, the clinch. But it was also that day I remember standing in the kitchen, and I think it was Bill Knott, that beautiful soul. Everyone knows, he's following his story. I had a similar experience of Bill Knott, and it makes me want to cry. That I was standing in my kitchen and I had a note on my cabinet that said, no sugar, no carbs. And this was before I knew carnivore. Skin tags, tumors, cancer, because I could feel in that moment, I had some kind of download or opening. I could feel in the background of my body that something was initiating, that I had to fix myself now. Something had to be done because I could see where I was going, because I already have a little growth on my eyelid. I'm hoping that goes away, but I could feel something in the background of my body already manifesting. So anyway, I just started praying, please God, show me a sign which way to go, because I had already been shown. No one ever talks about the eat right for your blood type. And because I'm a type O, it definitely says in there, you've got to eat meat. And so I have started eating more meat, but because there were other options, I got distracted by the other options, the salads and all that sort of stuff. And I would have some meat 2 or 3 times a week, and I did feel better. But if I ran out, I just stuck with the salads and the other stuff, and the salads, the vegetables, and then you're still starving. And then that craving, you're like, oh my God, I'm still so hungry. I'm kind of full, but I'm like starving. Can I just give myself? And I would just, whatever, crackers. I don't know why I had refried beans, but I would put like mayonnaise in there and butter. Obviously, my body was craving fat. Yeah, so then I would eat to overload, make myself sick, and still be starving. Anyway, yeah, so then I just started praying to Spirit, give me some signs, synchronicities, please show me. And like many of you, here I am on YouTube, and all of my recommendations are usually spiritual in nature, enlightenment, consciousness, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But right in the middle, for like 2 days, I kept seeing this one. It had yellow on it. And it said something like, I ate butter for 100 days. And I think by the second or third day, I said, okay, what is this? Click. And of course, as you know, steak and butter gal, Bella. Oh my God, I was hooked. Is she not the most gorgeous, just charming, addictive, beautiful creature? So smart, so talented. And she hooked me. And I started going through all of her videos. And that's when I got hooked in. And that's when I started. And that was, yeah, a couple of weeks ago. So maybe I'll end my video here and then just talk about in another video, like how week 1, 2, and 3 have been for me. But, because I think that there aren't enough videos out there really describing the first couple of weeks in detail. Like, did you mess up, and how did that happen, and how, is your energy up and down? I think for women in particular, if and by the way, I have no working hormones. I did have that tested. Zero on everything. Zero. So, when your system is so depleted and inflamed, it takes a little while. And I think probably women have a little bit more difficult time. So I hope that I can be able to share my journey and being really specific, because I'm quite in tune with my body and I notice things. Anyway, so that's my story so far. That's my beginning journey, and I will put you out of your misery now. Stop. Now, how do I stop this recording? Here we go. Okay, until the next video. Bye.